There is Russia's brutal war against Ukraine, the threat of terrorism, intense global competition, and flashpoints around the world, from the Middle East to Asia. Russia has teamed up with China, North Korea and Iran. They are expanding their militaries and their capabilities. They are preparing for long-term confrontation. I'm struck by the speech Winston Churchill made in the House of Commons in 1936, when he asked the question, will there be time to put our defenses in order? Will there be time to make these necessary efforts? Or will the awful words, too late, be recorded? Peace fails when there's complacency, when threats go unanswered, and when preparations are put off. We must take action now and build up our defenses. To delay is dangerous. To make NATO stronger, we must increase defense spending. That underpins everything. Allies will have to invest much more to meet new capability targets, which NATO defense ministers will agree in Brussels next week. We need more resources, forces and capabilities so that we are prepared to face any threat and to implement our collective defense plans in full. As parliamentarians, I need your help to make the case for higher defense spending with the public and to encourage your governments to keep up with their commitments to prevent any aggression against us. And if anyone dares to attack us, our resolve will be absolute. To preserve peace, we must prepare for war. But today, Europe is not at peace. Russia has brought war back to Europe. Its aggression against Ukraine must stop, and it must stop now. I completely condemn Russia's indiscriminate attacks against innocent civilians over the last 48 hours. We fully support President Trump's urgent efforts to stop the fighting. We need a just and lasting peace. NATO will continue our long-term support to Ukraine. And this is not about prolonging the war. It is about ensuring Ukraine can defend itself now and prevent any future aggression. We stand with Ukraine today, and we will stand with Ukraine throughout the challenges ahead. We know that even when the war against Ukraine ends, the threats we face will persist.
How will the Allies continue to support bolstering the Ukrainian army in the long term?
We will, at the 5th of June, when we have our defense ministers meeting, agree on the capability targets. And all allies already on an individual basis have said we agree with the targets we have basically been exposed to. And indeed, you mentioned already some that will mean more maneuverable land formations, long-range missiles, air defense systems, logistics, and obviously ammunition, refilling our stockpiles. I assume that in The Hague we will agree on a hard defense spend target of in total 5%. Sorry, I would not mention that, but at least I did it now. But let's say that it's 5%. But I will not say what is the individual breakup, but it will be considerably north of 3% when it comes to the hard spend, and it will be also a target on defense-related spending. So this will be the second big outcome of The Hague, and of course, Ukraine, very important, making sure, depending on where we are in 4 weeks with Ukraine, that we will do whatever is necessary to keep them in the fight and to bring Ukraine to a lasting and durable peace. But on this defense industrial question, I mean, this is really the thing which is keeping me awake at night. I think we will get to the new defense target. I think we will get it because there is large-scale support. But when it comes to defense industry, this is the hard part. We have to get this going. If not, we lack a serious part of our overall deterrence against the Russians, Iran, North Korea and China. This is really important because NSETU, the command in Wiesbaden, was set up not only to help Ukraine now to have the best packaging of all the defense industrial support they are getting from allies, but also longer term to make sure that we build up the Ukrainian armed forces as a first layer of defense going forward after a potential long-term ceasefire slash a peace deal. There are other initiatives to make sure that next, let's say, on top of the Ukrainian armed forces themselves, we collectively will support Ukraine after a peace deal to make sure that there is no repeat of Minsk, that Putin will never ever try again to capture 1 square kilometer, 1 square mile of Ukraine. But the first layer of this, exactly to your point, is building up the Ukrainian armed forces. President Zelensky sent his top team, including the foreign minister and the defense minister, to Istanbul to basically smoke out the Russians and make clear to the rest of the world that the Russians were not serious in those talks in Istanbul, by sending this historian there as the leader of their delegation, who just wanted to go back to where he left off in March 22 when it came to the root causes of the war. And of course this is absolutely not helpful and not bringing us anywhere, but that at least made clear that you guys are willing to play ball, and that is crucial.